Deborah, NC State Chancellor Randy Woodson just released a statement a few moments ago, like you just said, saying in part, when this process began, NC State promised accountability and vigorous defense where necessary, and we have delivered every step of the way. The Carolina Panthers Play 60 Challenge course is officially open here in Raleigh. Dozens of kids out here enjoying all the festivities and doing their best to get through this course, all part of the community outreach that the Carolina Panthers are doing here in the Triangle.
WR's Luke Notestine spoke with the team this afternoon as they prepare for tonight's must-win Game 3.
Every seat here inside Amalie Arena has one of these noisemakers that says "Go Bolts." The Canes will certainly face an energetic and loud crowd tonight as they get ready to play Game 3 of their playoff series here in Tampa. The Duke Blue Devils started incredibly fast by scoring 21 unanswered points in the first quarter. The defense also stepped up big by forcing 5 turnovers, but the Blue Devils needed a couple of big plays late to hold off a furious rally from Northwestern.
WRAL's Luke Notestine is in Tampa Bay with more.
When Jacob Slavin scored in the second period to give the Canes a 4-2 lead, this building got pretty quiet. However, by the end of the second period, Tampa Bay had scored 3 power play goals, and it was too much for Carolina to overcome. Temperatures here at Northampton High School dropped into the low 30s as players and fans could see their breath tonight. The Jaguars hoping to heat things up out there on the field in this third-round playoff matchup against Rosewood.
WRO's Luke Notestine joins us live from Tampa after listening to what the team is talking about today. Luke?
Gerald, the Canes have continued to play very well against the Lightning in this series, but with no wins to show for it until last night. A power play goal in overtime by the captain Jordan Stahl sent the Canes into a frenzy on the ice and allowed Carolina to take a huge step forward in this series.
WRAL's Luke Notestine joins us from Tampa, Florida to preview Game 3.
Chris, the Canes will be here in Tampa for Game 3 of their playoff series against the Lightning coming up on Thursday night. Carolina trails the series 2-0 after losing both games in Raleigh by a score of 2-1. Carolina scored just a combined 2 goals in those first 2 games. Head coach Rod Brindamore says that his team has played well, but they need to find a way to score, preferably early, here at the home of the defending Stanley Cup champs in Tampa.
WRL's Luke Notestine reports the victory really restored some morale.
The Carolina Hurricanes were able to do something that they had not yet done in this series against Tampa Bay, score the first goal of the game. That led to the Canes going on to win this game 3-2 in overtime. Brett Pesce, Sebastian Aho, Jordan Stahl, and Peter Mrazek all played outstanding. It was a great team effort, and all of a sudden the Carolina Hurricanes are in this series. They now trail the series 2-1 to Tampa as they prepare for Game 4 coming up on Saturday.
WRAL's Luke Notestine was in Tampa Bay and has more.
Head coach Rod Brindamore said anytime you can score 4 times against Tampa goaltender Andrei Vasilevsky, you've got to find a way to win the game. That didn't happen last night as the Canes fell 6-4 here in Tampa. 3 power play goals from Tampa Bay, and that was too much for the Canes to be able to overcome.
There was definitely frustration on there. I mean, I think, you know, you just can't, we knew coming in, you can't take penalties against these guys, and we were taking them.
Even though Carolina's offense was clicking early in the second period, the power play goals they gave up kept them from evening up this series.
We took some bad penalties tonight, and like you said, if you give that caliber of power play that many chances, it's not a recipe for success, and so we just got to stay more disciplined.
Carolina's first 2 goals of the game happened just 39 seconds apart in the second period. The Canes and Bolts combined for 8 goals in that period. However, the Lightning showed why. There's a Stanley Cup champion banner from last season on display.
In the second period, I think we started to take over and we had the momentum, and then we made it a little too hard on ourselves by taking too many penalties.
The Canes know scoring 4 times against all-world goaltender Andrei Vasilevsky should be a formula for victory. It just wasn't last night.
You know, we weren't sharp, and then we got going. We had some good momentum, and the penalties killed us.
So the series moves back to Raleigh next, where the Canes must win to keep their season alive. Game 5 between the Canes and the Lightning will be Tuesday night at 6:30 from PNC Arena. Luke Notestine, WRAL Sports, Tampa. Deborah, NC State Chancellor Randy Woodson just released a statement a few moments ago, like you just said, saying in part, when this process began, NC State promised accountability and vigorous defense where necessary, and we have delivered every step of the way. NC State is facing a $5,000 fine for violations tied to the recruitment of former star Dennis Smith Jr., but the Wolfpack will not be banned from the postseason. The NCAA created an independent accountability resolution process to make a decision on this case. Penalties also include a 1-year show cause penalty for former head coach Mark Gottfried and a 6-year show cause penalty for former assistant coach Orlando Early.
We basically determined that we didn't want to hurt or punish the student athletes that are currently competing. We did, however, want the institution to take this very seriously. There were very serious recruiting violations here.
In response to this ruling, NC State Director of Athletics Boo Corrigan said in part, quote, "Earlier today, we received word on the conclusion of our NCAA process for our men's basketball program, a cloud that has hovered over NC State for over 4 years. Quite simply, it's time for us to finally move forward." And we'll hear more from NC State Director of Athletics Boo Corrigan coming up in our 6 p.m. sportscast. But at least finally, there is some closure for the NC State athletics program.